Hey guys, I'm Paul Ponder. I'm the host of GTO Good Old Boys, and we have two special guests today from the Bassmaster Elite Series. They were fishing, I think, Wheeler. Got finished with that. We'll cover a little bit of the fishing, how it was at Wheeler, and then they got to do a little fishing here on Gunnersville. And we're going to cover a little bit on that too. I see both of them sort of grinning on that, so I don't know what they're going to tell you. We got Jacob Powroznik right here, and we got Greg DiPalma right here. Greg has stayed with us on several occasions, and we really appreciate him coming. He pulled old Jacob in here, and I hope you had as good a time as what Greg has.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a good time when you get to come to a lake that has as much grass as Gunnersville has in it right now.
So you love the grass fishing?
Yes, it's just like I always think of it as trying to find a needle in a haystack, and when you find it, it's a good time.
It's on, it
Yes,
is.
sir.
Well, what about, tell us a little bit about your Wheeler trip. I know, now guys, both of them cut a check. So they're not just, they're elites. So let us know about Wheeler.
I fished out off the ledge most of the time. I found one little spot that had some fish on it, and it was the first 2 days of the tournament, the water, they pulled a little bit of water, and the fish kind of bit a little bit, and then the last day it was so slick and calm and no water, and they would chase me all the way to the boat. They would chase me off of it. They just were not biting. And the thing is about Wheeler, it's a very, very good lake.
Right.
But there's just not so many places to fish,
So the fish is small.
It fish is really, really small. And hats off to Cliff Prince for finding that magical spot, and that's what it takes, in that tournament there's always going to be 2 or 3 guys that find that magical spot. And Cliff Prince found the one, and Ray Hanselman was right there with him,
Right.
Caught him kind of the same way. So hats off to those guys. But that's just basically what it boiled down to. A lot of us survived,
Right.
and
exactly.
a lot of us caught them in the grass that
Right.
was up there on the flats, and it was just I think we were just a little bit off on timing. The week before, I think the mayfly hatch was really, really good.
Yes.
I think that would have played a lot for catching some of those 16 to 18 inch smallmouth. They were up there eating them mayflies on the bluffs and stuff like that. So just a little bit of bad timing, but it turned out to be it looked really good on paper.
Right.
But
exactly.
it was a really tough deal. A lot of guys were complaining about the heat and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I think yesterday about when it kicked in on me. That I needed to take a break. So
Right. Exactly.
but hats off. All in all, it was just a tournament where you could just about do anything you wanted. It was just all about getting a couple good bites.
That's sort of like the Tennessee River, because there's so many different things you can do.
So I'm a guy that doesn't. I'm not bashful when I say this. Like, I don't think Wheeler should be part of the Tennessee River. In my opinion, there's Kentucky Lake, Pickwick, and Gunnersville. That should be the Tennessee River. This is just like a little stream in between, But,
I got you.
no, but I mean, and I know me and you have talked about this, Paul, about how in the world does so much grass go through that Gunnersville Dam and and Wheeler's not loaded. That's all it needs is just a little bit of vegetation out on them flats and down towards that lower end of the lake. And I mean, it's got the fish in it. They're just, they're very smart.
Exactly. Well, I guess when you're out there with nothing to hide in, you got to get smart.
Yeah, you get bombarded with,
Right.
jig head minnows now and jerk baits. And the thing is, you cannot hide.
Not from far facing and things they got out now. You can't hide.
I mean, the first day of the tournament, I actually started in the grass fishing. I had a late boat number, so I knew I wasn't going to get on a spot on the river ledge.
Right.
I just had to bide my time. And I was going down through that grass out there, and it's like 8 foot. And I pan over, and there's a stump. I could see the hole around the, and I could see the stump would act a target.
Right.
Fired a big worm over there, caught one, fired back in there, caught another one. So there was 2 really good ones that I started with the first day. So they can't hide no more.
Right.
And that's the not trying to get into this a bunch, but the things that I look at is conservation. We have to take care of here at Gunnersville.
Yes.
They can hide.
Yes, they can hide.
They can hide here. They got plenty of places where it looks like a bird walking mad all the way across the lake and things like that. But we went to Lake Murray, which is one of the best lakes in the country, and I know for a fact that, including Greg, that Greg was catching them a lot of the fish, it's not a secret, was out there in 12 to 16 foot garden fry.
Really?
So
Wow.
So when you take, and I got this from Hackney, when you take the man away from the children, who's going to guard the children? You know what I'm saying? So nobody. So
that's right.
There's going to be it's fine and dandy and it's fun and it's I have nothing against it, but when it comes to hurting the fishing, hurting the thing, then there's going to have to be some kind of limit.
Because grandkids and their grandkids, they're not going to have it like we have it today. I mean,
no,
we've done. And Greg, you come in 16th, didn't you?
I did. It was a good event. So I had no prior experience on that body of water at all.
You had never been on Wheeler?
I was one time, but it was 20 years ago, and I didn't really fish, hardcore competitive back then. So I didn't even count that. So I've always heard Decatur Flats. So the first day of practice, that's exactly what I did. Decatur Flats all day. And I think I had like 5 or 6 bites the first day, but nothing special. It was hard.
Wow.
I mean, it was a tough derby. No matter how you cut it, Jacob said it. I mean, on paper it looked decent, but it was, everybody got a bite, worked for it.
Right, exactly.
So for me, having a really tough day one of practice, I kind of did the same thing a little bit day 2, and I was like, this isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did what I do best. I put the trolling motor down, went against the bank, and I junk fished. And that's how I jumped it the whole way. Yep. Whatever I saw, I pitched, flipped, frog, I did it all.
Oh, you threw the frog and you flipped and you pitched.
Yeah, and buzzbait. I mean, you name it, I had it on my front deck, and that's how I
Really?
fished. Yep.
Did you catch a lot of topwater fish?
No, I didn't. I ended up the first day catching most of them on a small little jig. The second day, the bite kind of changed. Like a lot of stuff that I went back and fished some of the stuff. I went flip it, nothing. I threw a drop shot and caught them.
Really?
Around the trees, yeah. And then the third day, they put the jig again.
Was you looking at them on your forward face?
I was not. I didn't even turn it on.
Bless your heart.
Yep.
Wow.
Just put the trolling motor down, got in the dirt, and I just went for it.
Are you good on forward facing? Do you like that?
I would say I'm probably about 50% in the field as far as being good on it. I mean, I'm not the best on it, but I can do it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you like it?
I do like it. Here's the thing. So I will say this about it. In the last 2 to 3 years using it, I feel like I've learned more about bass than I did in the last 10 years. Because the way they react to baits, how they react to color, I can see all that now. So there's definitely a big bonus to the side of it. Like Jacob said, I do understand the conservation side of it. Maybe we're taking some stuff away, but it's a sticky subject. We don't have data, I feel like, to really back up if it's going to make a difference or not. But I would say yes, it's going to. We're targeting fish we've never could catch before.
Right.
Maybe it takes some pressure off the bank fish.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know the right answer. I really don't.
I tell you what, if it's up to me, I'll get on that bank and go.
Yeah.
Jump and whine.
Yeah.
That looking and shaking.
Well, I mean, and people, and this is where, so I've been doing this a long, 20 years.
Right.
I started in 2004. And
You must have been young.
Yeah, and the thing is, these days, and I'm not taking nothing away from them, but when they put their boat in, the only thing they do is they turn on that forward-facing sonar, and that's all they concentrate on all day.
Right.
But in my mind, and it's hard, when you've done something for so long.
Right.
Like in my mind, I need to go skip boat docks, or I need to go flip grass, or throw a buzzbait, or look for a shad spawn, or whatever. They don't look for none of that no more. You know what I'm saying? There's no more fishing.
Let me cut in real quick on this. So I do a lot of work at the Bass University, and there's a couple rookies this year that we tried to hire. You know what they said?
What?
I don't know the fundamentals of bass fishing. I can't help you.
Really?
To teach, yeah. That's what Jacob's saying. They only just put that thing down, and that's all they know.
They just look for something swimming and
that's it.
Junk at it.
They don't know what all the stuff that he learned, all the stuff that I learned.
Yes.
It's going to the wayside. And that's a problem, number one, in my opinion. You have to, if you want to fish at this level, in my opinion, you need to have every level of every single thing.
I agree.
And it's being skipped. So that's the issue for sure.
Do you think they'll come back and say, okay, we're going to allow it half the time and the other half not?
I mean, it doesn't matter, but something needs to be done.
Right.
Whether they give it to us for half the year and then take it away half the year, or every other tournament, or let us practice with it, and then when the tournament starts, take it away.
That would be perfect. I've never thought of that.
Let us find them. You can use it during the 3 days practice. You can find them, but then tournament day,
then chances are they can turn it off from.
And the thing is, and it doesn't like. So I'm a team player. I'm in this for everybody.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm going to use a couple examples. But if the only thing that these fish bite anymore is a jerkbait or a jighead minnow, you know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what every tournament gets won on these days.
Right.
All right. What about Yamamoto sponsoring me, my biggest sponsor?
Right.
If they don't sell Senkos or Sensei worms or Zakos that goes on the back of chatterbaits, or the chatterbait company Z-Man, or this store right here,
right?
You know what I'm saying? If bait sales crumble,
right,
because of that,
we get trouble.
Yeah, there's no justice to that. And so when that goes away, I go away. You know what I'm saying? Because I have done, and I'm not saying this in a bad way or whatever, but I've done pretty well in my career, surviving, making whatever. But if it wasn't for my sponsors that sponsor me, I wouldn't be able to do this.
Correct.
And when they go away, then Jacob goes away. Well, and it's not very far.
Well, I'm telling you, it's the hardest sport to make it in.
For sure.
Than any sport out there. Do you not agree, Greg?
I agree 100%.
I mean, it's tough. Yeah. I mean, it's, again, you and you. You and the fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, I don't see what keeps y'all from getting spun out in the tournament. You start out, and, well, it's about time to go to a break. Let's wait on that, and we'll come right back. We'll pick up where we left off. Guys, y'all hang in there, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We got Jacob and Greg here with us, and we're talking a little bit about fishing and a little bit about everything. So what I want to go to now is, I know Greg, in 2006, I believe it was, you qualified for the Elite Series, which is something that you've been wanting to do your whole life.
For sure.
Finances didn't let you say okay.
Yep. Yeah, so
tell us how you felt during that time and how you overcame that and up until where you are now.
Okay. So in 2006 was my very first try fishing the Bassmaster Opens. And the end of that year, I ended up qualifying for Elite Series. Ultimate dream. Right. Being young and dumb, I pretty much thought that once you qualified, man, you're going to be in. Sponsors come flying. That was not the case.
Oh, no.
Not even close. I think back then there was 11 events, $55,000 entry fees, I believe it was. And there was no way financially I could ever afford it. I came from a blue collar family, worked hard every day, did construction, when I wasn't fishing. But I will say this, I think looking back, that was one of the best things that has ever happened to me. Because number one, I wasn't ready. If I would have somehow scraped the money up, it would have been, right now I would not be sitting here.
So like you said earlier, you was young and dumb.
Young and dumb. All the years in between, I still fished the Opens after that. Still, had the dream to fish professionally. But I ended up meeting two guys that were very inspirational to me. Mike and George, who are both owners of Susquehanna Fishing Tackle. They were two guys that took me underneath their wing and really showed me the business side of the sport more than anything. Wow. So if I had the opportunity again, now I was prepared.
Right.
So all these years later, I requalified back for 2019 season. It was a different time around this time. When they called and said, "Are you in?" I said, "Most definitely on
that." You were sitting on ready, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was sitting on ready. I understood the industry, understood the business side to it, learned so much more about fishing, about myself, all that stuff. So every single thing had to happen the way it happened for me to be here today.
And you hadn't looked back since.
I've only looked back just to think about that I needed that.
Right, exactly. That's that one step that was left out that finally it came by.
Correct.
You were lucky enough to have somebody to lead you through.
I did. So I had Mike and George. My dad was always a person. He wasn't there like to say, "Okay, we're going to buy you this kind of stuff." He was there mentally to say to me, "Man, you can do it. Somebody's got to do it." That's what he always told me. That just always sunk in my heart ever since today. It's still the same.
Right.
Them words always meant the world to me.
Well, I tell you what, a wise man listens to his father.
Yeah. Well,
that's a fact.
Yeah. My dad. So when it came to construction, he had a talent. He could walk on a job site. Something could be wrong with either the prints or something's off a little bit. He could walk in there. He would tell the guys instantly what to do, and it'd be the right answer every time. It was just absolutely amazing.
Huh.
And he ended up retiring. Dad just turned 70.
Well.
But yeah, he's a hell of a man, that's for sure.
Maybe he'll get to see this right here.
He could. He's seen the other podcasts that I've been on and stuff, and he's just always patting me in the back, like good
Right.
job.
Well, he should, and you have done a good job, and you really hold yourself in high esteem.
Thank you, I appreciate
that. That really makes me feel good about the way fishermen carry themselves.
Yeah.
And your father had a big part in your life, as well as your father had a big part in your life, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's kind of a same story. My dad run a construction business, dug footings for houses, and I fished it used to be like BFLs back then, or Redmans or whatever.
Yeah,
that's how long it's been.
Wow.
And the first year I won the points in the BFLs. I was like 19, and then the next year I won the points again in the BFLs. And like my dad's best friend's Woo Dave. So Woo said, David, he's got something that and. Man, I was playing football. I was chasing women. I was, wild man, and I was like, man, I don't know about this fishing. It's whatever it is, or whatever it is. So, the following year, my dad said, I think you ought to fish the Southern Everstarts. Back then or whatever. So my very first year, I qualified to fish the FLW Tour, and I turned it down. I didn't think I was ready. And my dad would have helped me, through everything. I was just like, I don't think I'm ready. So then,
how old was you then?
I was 20.
Okay.
And then the next year, I fished the Everstarts again, and I think the first term I finished fourth at Okeechobee. I won Santee, finished third at Eufaula, and then we came to Gunnersville here, and I finished like 20th or something, and won the. I think I come in second or won the points again in that year in the deal. But back then there was nothing for it. They didn't even hardly recognize you. So, but you qualified to fish the FLW Tour. So I took that, and I think I made the championship Forcewood Cup every year that I fished, and I think I've just about made the Classic every year, for the Elite Series. So, but my dad, to get back to that, my dad and we were really good friends. So what really got me into doing this, I used to get to go travel with Woo, practice for the Classic. 3 weeks. We'd go to Logan Martin for 3 weeks before, so I got to kind of, Woo's not no crankbait or nothing like that. He's going to throw a worm, as everybody knows, or whatever. But he taught me a lot of stuff about the business side of this, of how to meet people, and how to. You don't ever want to leave somewhere where somebody's saying, "Man, I hope that guy never comes back."
Right.
You always want to leave somewhere where saying, "Man, I hope Jacob comes back and sees us," or what I'm saying, like that. So I've tried to do that, throughout my whole career and everything, and it seems to work out because everywhere I go, they're like, "Man, you been here a long time." So it's bass fishing. You never know. It's always, in my opinion, there's nothing bad about bass fishing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to meet some of the greatest people you've ever met in the world, and and that's what I love the most about the kids.
Right. Like
when I go to a tournament and there's 8 or 10 kids standing out there with yellow hats and want us to sign them yellow hats, bass hats. That's what, because I was that. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those, and I tell every one of them, you're on the right, you're on the right track. Just stay there, because all dreams do come true. But me and Greg, we didn't have high school bass fishing. We didn't have college. We didn't have, these kids are so far advanced, and I call them kids.
Right. Exactly.
They're so far advanced now before they even get to to us or whatever.
Right.
Like I remember, I can remember having 8 rods. That's all I could afford.
You got that shot.
8 rods and reels.
Yeah.
I'd have 2 little spools of line. Now I got a whole truck and boat full of crap out there that
exactly.
Like, what in the world am I doing with all this stuff? And it was, and bass fishing back then was so simple.
Right.
Now my boat, My bass
That's like
boat
an
out there
aircraft.
is $100,000 boat. Every bass boat out there is $100,000 now with electronics and all that. Back then, you used to sell them for $40,000.
Right.
You know where? I mean, where is the world going?
And you know they actually floated at $40,000.
Yeah, they do. But where's it gonna end at? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like
It's out of control.
It's out of control. Yeah.
And the electronics that just pushes further and further and further, and I don't know where else it can go. You know, I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I didn't even
no
think you
telling.
could play video games and catch fish, but obviously I was wrong. But you have been very consistent, very, very consistent. And I think Angler of the Year is one of the most coveted awards that you can get.
Yeah, I
You won it in 2021.
I won that in the Opens, and that was I told somebody because you know I'd fished over at MLF and I took a step away from MLF to come back to the Elite Series because my dream is to win the Classic. There's only one Classic,
That's right.
And if you're not in the Bassmaster Elite Series, you don't have a chance to win the Classic. Nothing against
right.
MLF. I still fish Toyotas at home and all that stuff.
Right.
You know, it's just I want to win the Classic.
It's what you want to do.
What I want to do. And I wrote a letter to sponsors and stuff and asked them if I did this, and they were like, "Yep, we're behind you 100%." Which, you know, that was kind of the hardest decision was, are they going to stick by me? And which
Right.
they all did. And I'll never do it again. I'm just telling you, I will not go back and fish those Opens ever again.
Really?
Yes, I will not do it. That's the worst year. I think it took like 10 years off my life fishing that, you know.
So it was
Trying
tough.
to get, well, you're fishing 9 events, 225 boats at each one. Well, you get there and they're biting really good. Well, by the time that 225 boats have scowned the whole lake,
Right.
oh boy.
It makes it tough.
It's tough. So it was just one of those things. But I say that, but there's nothing wrong with the Opens, and I won a lot of money in the Opens. You know, we're getting ready. I won my first Open at Smith Lake, which we're getting ready to go to next week, and a different time of year. But it's just one of those. I would say things that I don't ever want to go through again.
Right.
So if I get kicked out of the elites, then I'm not coming back.
Well, let me tell you, both of y'all have been very, very good about people wanting you to come back. I've had them come to me and wanted to know where y'all were. I said, well, they're going to be back. They're going to be back here around 12. Around 12, they got 12 o'clock, and I thought, well, maybe his hair took him a little longer to fix mine. The guys, Greg had to carry Jacob, get him a haircut because of this show right here.
No,
I'm kidding.
I think that's the longest my hair has ever been. I'm not kidding you. And I don't have no hair at all, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, but I told Greg to jump in there. I was actually talking to Hackney on the phone. We were actually talking about the tournament that's coming up up here at, on Gunnersville and everything, which is going to be a really, really good event. And we'll get into that some other time. But it's, I'm looking forward to it, to qualify. I ended up talking to Chris Lane and
Good.
Justin Luxon. I got the logistics on it, and I think it's going to turn out to be a pretty good deal.
That's good. Greg, are you going to jump in on it too?
Probably. Again, I think it's money-wise. I mean, the payouts on it are tremendously. I mean, there's nothing that touches that right now.
Well, it's something that y'all deserve.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that's in the making that I get chill bumps about it. And I ain't even got a dog and fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can see y'all up there accepting the check for $500,000.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, buddy, come on.
Well, if I was to accept that check for $500,000, we're going to shut the grocery store down here at the tackle store. We're going to put out some tents and get some kegs of beer because we're getting ready to party.
You fixing to do it too,
Yeah,
ain't you?
we're going to have a good time.
That sounds like a winner. Well, guys, we're going to go to another short break, and we'll be back to close this thing out. But Jacob and Greg have been great so far, so just wait till the end. We're saving the best for last. Y'all hang in there.
Welcome to Eden's Energy and Protein. We are now open on Saturdays 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. until school is out. We offer T-bombs, protein shakes, coffee, shaved ice cream, banana splits, and last but not least, everyone's favorite, the most delicious milkshakes. Come by and see us. Don't miss out on a great sweet treat after a long day on the water. We are located right outside of Waterfront at 6955 Scottsboro Highway. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Eden's Energy and Protein. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon.
Hey guys, we're back here with Jacob and Greg. Right to left me, I'm sorry. That's my age. And what we got is we went a little long on the other two little segments. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow these two young men to express their thoughts to their sponsors, because if you want to know what to use, they've kept these guys in business for a while. And we'll start with Greg. If you'll turn to the camera and tell them all about your sponsors.
Yeah, so I have two non-academic sponsors. So I have Superior Walls, and I also have Northeast Precast. With that being said, if you are in the market for a foundation for your house or anything commercial, they got you covered all up and down the East Coast. There's franchise holders. Or if you're in my area, I'm in South Jersey, Northeast Precast, who's been my title sponsor since the beginning, they can do anything. It doesn't matter if it's roads, anything precast concrete, they got you covered. Besides that, I've been working hand in hand now. This is my four years I've been with them now, is Nomad Design.
Yes.
You guys carry some of their baits
We
in the
do.
store.
We sure do.
Last year on Gunnersville, I actually won the kayak tournament, throwing the Swim Tricks Max, which is a lipless. But I have two baits coming out really soon that are Signature Series, that are my own baits. One's going to be a mini finesse flip jig, and one is also going to be a new swim jig. We also have one more thing coming we're trying to design that's going to kind of change. It's going to be kind of in the chatterbait realm, but it's going to be different. That's not designed yet.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now you've got me wondering.
Yeah, super excited about that one. It's going to be really good. Besides that, I got Phoenix Boats. You guys live in this area.
Yes.
Most of y'all already know how good that boat is.
Right.
This year I'm running Suzuki. So far, it's been a great outboard for me.
I've heard that Suzuki was a very good motor.
Yeah, very pleased. You turn the key and go. It might not have the speed of the other motors out there, but the thing is reliable.
You ain't never caught one at 70, did you?
Not yet, I haven't.
Okay.
In the future we will, I promise you that.
Well, that sounds like a winner's day. Anybody else?
Yeah, AFCO clothing, sun gear nowadays is a really big deal. Protect yourself. A lot of the older guys that are out there have skin problems now. That's the biggest thing with our generation. I would say most kids now protect yourself really well.
Right.
So if you're not one of them guys, get out there, get yourself some AFCO clothing, and protect yourself.
That's it.
Otherwise, Shimano rods and reels, I've been with them guys now forever. There's not much I got to say about them.
Right.
They sell some of the best products there is.
There you go.
So that's pretty much all I got, guys.
And socials.
Socials. So both social medias that I get on a lot is obviously Facebook and Instagram. It's Greg DiPalma /GDP on both of them. Or if you want to go to YouTube, just Greg DiPalma Fishing.
Okay. It's in your hands there, Jay.
Oh, boy. So I'm going to give my first shout out to Mercury. I've been with Mercury for 20-some years now.
Okay.
That was the motor that I started with, and the motor I'm running, currently. And, I can count on one hand in 20 years of problems I've had out of a Mercury boat. Right. And two of those probably might have been self-inflicted, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So Mercury, they've been reliable. Thank you all so much for everything you do. Falcon boats. I've been with Falcon now for, I think this is my third year with Falcon boats.
Okay.
Absolute best boat I've ever ran in my life. It's wide. It handles all my stuff. Does really good in rough water. Can't complain about that. And then Livingston Lures. I've been with Livingston for a long time. They make some of the best stuff in the world. They make all kinds of musky stuff, bass fishing, you name it. They're doing crab traps now out in the Bering Sea where they catch all them Ophelia crabs and stuff. And it's crab collars, and also if you're looking for something interesting, and whatever, just Google LivingstonLures.com. They have it all on their website. But power poles, Lowrance Electronics. I've been with Lowrance since I started. That's been a long time. Back when the units were this big.
Wow.
I mean, we went from this big to now we're 16. Some
Right.
guys got 20-inch, screens and stuff like that. So hats off to Lowrance. But I got to sign with GSM, and
Really?
And GSM it's like the perfect sponsorship for me because they have muddy tree stands, they have AVNX. I love duck hunting. That's what I do during the winter the whole time. Zinc duck calls. That's the calls that I blow. Guiding and stuff. Then you get to the fishing part. They have Phoenix rods. That's what that's the rods that I use. I mean, I know y'all have heard of a Cinco.
Yes.
I mean, Yamamoto baits.
Cinco.
I mean, they sell probably the most baits sold across the world as far as the plastic is a Yamamoto Cinco or something like that. But just the thing is endless. Buckeye Lures. I'm with Buckeye. They got a bunch of swim jigs. I actually designed a swim jig called the Grass Goat. The Grass Panda.
Grass Panda.
Yes, and it's a new swim jig. It's supposed to be. It's already out. There's been a lot of, some guys have already tested it and all stuff. It's really good. And so hats off to them. And then trying to think, Elite Tungsten. I've been with Elite Tungsten for a long time. Toyota trucks. Scott Clark Toyota. I get to. They kind of help me out every year. It's a truck company in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're looking for a Toyota truck or any kind of vehicle, Scott Clark Toyota will help you out on that. So,
social media?
Oh, Jacob Powroznik. You can just look up me on social, Instagram, Facebook is just Jacob Powroznik. Just pull it up and I'll pop up. So mine's pretty easy to get to. JacobPowroznik.com.
Just a simple man.
Yeah, that's the way I like it.
Well, I think there's two simple men right here.
Yeah,
I really, really have learned to think the world of y'all. Y'all are super, super folks. Jacob, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Greg, thank you so much.
Guys, I will be back, I promise.
I know you will. You better be with it. And so what we want to say is thank y'all for watching the show, and I hope you really enjoyed it and learned something. These guys right here are the best of the best. So if you see them out, shake their hand. They are more than welcome to sit and talk to you, and they are super, super folks. And you sponsors that sponsor them, you can't sponsor anybody any better than what you got right here. So with saying that, y'all have a great day, and y'all keep your lines pretty tight if you can. Thanks a lot.
Hey guys, we're down here at Waterfront today, and it got hot. It warmed up a little bit, so we decided to climb in our little ice chest here. So with that being said, guys, no matter how hot it gets, you gotta keep your fish alive, you gotta keep your drinks cold, your food cold. Come down to Waterfront. We got big bags, small bags, ice all in between, so come see us.